You ever get so hot you start to get like a little anxious? That's me right now. This is like the third episode, and I just spit everywhere. This is like the third episode in a row. I felt like just a tinge of anxiety. The first time, 2 episodes ago, was less than last episode, and this is even less now. But I don't like the heat. I'm a winter baby. Yeah. What kind of intro is this? I don't know what I'm doing right now. I figure out how this works. And this is my show. This is crazy. Welcome to the Intelligent Idiots podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Always on 10. Today we got a special episode, because it's honestly slowly coming to an end, and I didn't expect it to be an ending. Karens and Kens, or Darrens, or Kevins, Tylers, Terrys. I'm not sure what the male equivalent is, but Karens and male Karens. Let's hop right into it. Yeah, this is awkward. So we're over in the r/am I the asshole with an H subreddit with a post by Dragon Tamer 226. Am I the asshole for telling off a Karen? Okay, so I'm not going too far with this one. Here's the story. I had my sons, 1 and 3 years old, at the park. I had my 1-year-old in a swing while my toddler played close by. My toddler has a toy truck he calls Wee Woo, and we always bring it to the park. Usually everyone is cool with this because he prefers to play by himself or with me. COVID really messed up his social skills. He doesn't really know how to react to other toddlers yet. So anyways, 3-year-old is playing with Wee Woo, happy as can be. Suddenly, this fucking Karen storms over from the nearby picnic tables and takes my son's toy. Instantly, there were tears and crying. And before I can even say one fucking thing, she tells him not to be a baby and walks away. I'm beyond livid at this point. I gathered my children and put them in the car. Then I walked over to this lady and grabbed her purse. She freaked out, but I just walked away. I told her when she gives my son's toy back, she can have her purse. She threatened to call the cops. I told her go to hell. I wanted to say go to hell. I told her go ahead. She can't just take someone else's property, even the toddlers. She told me her phone was in her purse. That's my purse. I shrugged and said, too bad. After freaking out for a couple of minutes, she handed over my son's toy truck. I told her if she wanted her purse back to go apologize to my kid. She refused, called me all manners of names. Oh, so I threw her purse in a garbage bin on my way out of the park. I want it to be noted that at least 3 couples saw this whole interaction, and not one person said anything. I don't know if they just didn't want to get involved, but nobody called me an asshole or told me to back off. But they also didn't say anything about her taking my son's toy away. So, was I the asshole? Did I go too far? Fuck no. Edit to add, yes, the truck does make noise. It's definitely not that loud, and tons of kids in the community bring toys that make noise to the parks. Everyone is usually whatever about this, unless it's fireworks loud. If the noise was the problem, the truck does have an on/off switch that I would have turned off if she asked. Oh, this is like perfect. This is like perfect treatment right here. But me, I'm taking a purse. If I get the idea to dump it in the trash, I'm dumping it in the trash upside down. And I'm making sure that she sees I stop for a minute, like 2 seconds, so the things start falling out as I proceed to drop the motherfucker in the trash. Because you don't want too much weight to leave the purse, so it goes deep enough so that when she reaches in there, it might just be some nasty, ucky, wecky shit in there. And she's like, as she goes to pull her stuff out. And she has to just dig through garbage, to get all her individual items. Yo, Yo, I was gonna do this episode last night. I'm glad I'm doing it right now. Oh, I would have been so sleepy. Yo, let's go. Let's go to the comments. Oh man, the top comment with 45 upvotes because this post did not bang out crazy like that. Not the asshole. She deserved it. She called him a baby. He's 3. He's still a baby. Who takes a kid's toy? Honestly. Oh man. Oh, here we go. Here we go. By Jay the Great One. Nope. Nope. Nobody. Nope. Nope. See, I love that right there. Nope. 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 Not the asshole. I'm vibing. These people, man. These people. They live in La La Land. These people have not experienced enough consequences, if any, at all in their life that they know to be because of their own actions. Right. If karma catches a person later on, they're not going to put 2 and 2 together to know that it's because they did some fuck shit last week, last month, last year. No, consequences have to be swift and due to their actions, right? It needs to be, you do this, I do that. You do this, you get arrested. You do this, you get punched. We're not taking candy away from a baby here. And she decides to one up it. We're taking toys, a toy fire truck, a wee woo, away from a baby. No, from a baby. No, I would have kicked sand in her eyes. This might have been one of those wood chip parks. And here's the thing. I understand people get overstimulated and whatnot. If you get overstimulated, it digivolve. This right here is the device DigiDestins use to put their fucking AirPods in. Put your headphones in, your earbuds in. Put your headphones on. Turn your noise cancellation on. Right. If you got a motherfucking if you got an iPhone, turn your background sounds on. Turn you on some rain on the roof or a stream. Hit that so you get a little bit of a background sound, and then you could lower it too, so it'll clear out some of those lower and higher level pitch sounds that's just happening in the background. You're hearing that wee woo wee woo wee woo. Maybe you could turn on some fire, right? Get that high pitch, get them crackles going. No, I'm wrong. Where's the high pitch? Get you some balanced noise in the background, or maybe hop on the airplane. That's the high pitch right there. Because I know that wee woo got to be going through your damn ears if you wild enough to go ahead and snatch a toy from a kid that's not yours. Man, you're at a park. You're at a park. Shut up, Siri. Damn. You're at a park where there are kids consistently. I'm sure it's one of those good parks, right? That the people's tax dollars are going towards to upkeeping. And you wilding out. Get your life together. Yeah, I'm a little too prone to violence. I'm hauling off. I'm hitting. We got a comment from Sunny Moon 8888. Is that too many eights? Doesn't matter. The way they spell Sunny and Moon isn't how you would even look it up either. When she wanted her purse back, I would have told her to quit acting like a baby. She might have gotten a truck across the face too. You have the right to protect your things and the right to fight back when you feel threatened. But why did she just take his toy truck? What was her excuse? Is there a history between you and her? It seems odd that for no reason someone would do that. I feel like the story is missing some important details. And OP replies, I think another reply was right. I think she was annoyed with the noise of the truck. To be honest, it's not really that loud. But like I also said before, tons of kids and toddlers bring their toys to the park that make noise. And usually everyone is whatever about it. If the noise bothered her so much, she could have just asked to shut it off. It does have an on-off switch. Her reaction was a complete overreaction, in my opinion. Oh, and then Nelso024 replies, Nelso, these usernames. If the noise bothers her, she shouldn't go to a park during daylight hours. If kids can't play with loud, if they even are loud, toys outside, where should they play with them? There are typically noise laws, and I guarantee a toy truck isn't breaking any. You totally did the right thing, in my opinion. should have dumped the contents of her purse in the trash. So she would have to pick it out individually. Yo, shout out to Nelso. Shout out to Nelso. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I'm vibing. I'm vibing with Nelso. 024. Yeah. Yeah. And matter of fact, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you want to be a Karen, be a useful Karen. Be an advocate. Be one of those people who goes and talks to your congressman. Play the concerned parents. Be a victim. That's what you're so good at. Be a fucking victim, right? Rally up all your weird ass mom parents. Pull up some information online, go to some specialists, see what babies whose ears are developing ages 6 months to 4 years, what decibel sound they can handle when a toy is right on their face, when a toy is right up to their ear. See what a prolonged 5-minute, 10-minute level of decibel would be acceptable, and then see if you can, again, to go to your congressman, lobby the government, and have them put restrictions in place for companies who sell toys to the American people. And I'm assuming this is in America, right? Because we're the center of the world, unfortunately. We're a black hole. We're an abyss on this planet. And have standards be set for children's toys so they aren't too loud, right? If you are experiencing ear damage with a consistent decibel level over 70 decibels, then I'm sure as an adult, I'm sure for babies, it has to be a lower level. So if the toys are too much and you're a distance off, right? The chair, the park bench versus where the kids are in the play area has to be some distance off. So as sound travels, and it's not coming to you straight on, right? It's a wave spreading out, and it's the decibel levels are dropping due to all the fucking all the things you can't see this in the air. Not just air friction, but all the things that you can't see in the air. All the tiny particles in the air that is lowering the decibel levels as oh, good Lord. As the sound waves hit you. So whatever the kid is experiencing, the wee woo is definitely louder in their hands, in their, because they got stubby little arms as a 3-year-old. It's definitely, they're like this. It's definitely louder in their face than it is to you when you're probably 10, 20 feet away, I would assume. I don't know how this park is set up, right? 5 feet minimum, right? So you're going to get a drop off in sound. So if you did have a standard set, this would benefit children, right? Kids would grow up with better eardrums. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I don't know what I'm saying, but again, just like the AirPods, right? In my phone, I can set it so it doesn't exceed a certain decibel limit. It lets me know, hey, this particular song that's playing is over the limit that you should be experiencing, and then it's going to hit me with a weekly report. Hey, you have exceeded your weekly volume level, and I'm just like, all right, fuck you, shut up, damn Siri, you dirty bitch. Always ear hustling. Why are her ears messed up? Where was I at? I don't know. I don't know. Man. Yeah, that's it for this one. All right, we're over in r/am I the asshole with an H with a post by no_copy_237. Am I the asshole for getting my coworker fired after she kept trying to prove my service dog is fake? I have a fuck. My brain just got destroyed by that. I have a medical alert service dog named Max who helps with a serious heart condition. He's literally saved my life multiple times by alerting me before I pass out. I started a new office job 3 months ago, and everything was fine until, let's call her Karen, started her crusade against Max. It started small. She loudly announced pets aren't allowed in the office every time she saw us. I explained repeatedly that Max is a service dog, not a pet, and showed her his documentation. She then started telling everyone I was obviously faking because I looked too young to be disabled. Things escalated fast. She tried to test Max by dropping food near him. He's trained to ignore it, by the way. She reported me to HR Weekly. But the worst part? She started purposely wearing strong perfume and spraying air freshener around my desk, which triggers my condition. Max alerted 3 times in one day because of this. The final straw, I found out she was taking photos of me and Max and posting them in a Facebook group about fake service dogs and asking for ways to expose me. She included my full name and workplace. I took screenshots and went to HR. They fired her on the spot for harassment and creating a hostile work environment. Now my inbox is flooded with messages from her friends and family saying that I'm the asshole for getting a mother of 3 fired over a dog and that I should have just worked from home if I'm so sick. Here's the thing. I actually feel horrible that she lost her job. Her kids aren't at fault here, but she literally put my life at risk with the perfume stunts, and doxing me online was scary. You're not the asshole. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I don't know what your manager was doing, but you followed the steps in the process, and HR was the one who got rid of him. You did not get her fired. All right, you weren't the one tapping along in the system. Oh shit, what I just do? You weren't the one tapping along, right, in the system, getting her booted out. You weren't the one hitting all the. You weren't going in there. You weren't in there in the system getting rid of her. That's not what happened. No, HR, human resources for the company deemed this dirty bitch as a liability and said, "No, you got to go. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna fuck the money up for all of us. You're gonna get this company sued, and we're gonna be out of bread." No. What are we doing here? What are we? Fuck feeling bad about her losing her job. You almost lost your life 3 times in one day. What if people in the company started believing her, right? And you bitched out, right? You lost your nerve, you lost your grit, you left your dog at home one day, and she said, see, you obviously don't need that dog spray. Sprayed you in the fucking face, and then you and fucking died. What makes it even worse, you have a heart condition. You have a heart condition. Oh my Lord. I'm fiddling around with my inhaler for the fucking effects of it, right? Just for some cutesy shit. But oh, good Lord. Top comment by Raven Dorkholm. These usernames are crazy. She would do this to someone else if she hadn't done it to you. It isn't your fault she was fired. It's her own, not the asshole. Edit to add, when I originally replied, the dog picture hadn't been added. Before you reply to me specifically with your fake, just know how many people have already done that. What is this? I didn't have to read that. I did not have to read that. Okay. Bush Audi Shyla drops a comment saying the individual in question is an adult and made her choices. Now, like any adult, she faces the consequences of her choices. Too bad she was too selfish to consider the needs of her family before she attempted to murder you. She's lucky she's not in prison. Ooh. Oh, shit. And then an immediate comment under that by Ski Ball Nights. Oh man, I read these usernames as like individual words, so I immediately saw ski and then ball, and I was like, "What are we doing?" But Ski Ball Nights. I've never ever seen skee ball like spelt out, and I've never typed it myself. But they've got it spelled Skee. So I'm sure you can imagine what I was thinking immediately. and everything's in lowercase. They agree with the previous comment. As a retired prosecutor, I see this as a crime. A crime. And that's got 1,000 upvotes. Motherfucking 1,000. Ooh, boy. We got a comment just with 20K upvotes. It's not your fault she was fired. HR fired her for the things she did. You are not at fault for the actions of others whatsoever. They get themselves into a precarious situation based upon the shit they do. That's on them. I've been fired before for some shit I've done. I've almost been fired before for some shit that I almost did, and I know would have gotten me fired and put me in jail. And I had to actually not do shit. I had to be physically separated. I had to be physically separated. People saw shit was about to hit the wall. They was like, oh shit, hold on, grab 10. Hold on now. Hold on. We got to grab 10. We got to separate them. Hold on now. Hold on. We can't let this happen. Oh shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Normal elk 652. We got some underscores instead of some, you know how usernames work. It's either a dash or underscore. This is important, OP, and worth remembering or stating to the people who are coming at you. You didn't do anything except tell HR what she was doing. They made the decision that what she did was worth firing her on the spot. Her behavior had these consequences, not yours. Probably also worth noting that good employees don't usually get insta-fired. They get put on plans or verbal/written warnings to try and resolve the issue. Ooh, it's highly likely she has pulled similar shit before, and this was the excuse they needed to get rid of her. Don't feel bad. She certainly won't. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see any comments from OP, and I did go looking, and I can't find any. But still, these top comments are spot on. Just FYI, it says legitimate-sir-6236. If she deliberately sprayed the perfume and air freshener knowing it would trigger a medical episode for you, that's a criminal offense of assault. Ooh, yes. Matter of fact, I'm so curious. How did no one else report her? Because I know normally, based upon what these people will be saying to HR, because rarely have I ever gone to HR about anything. And I have worked for companies that have over 15 employees. That 15 employee comment just threw me for a loop earlier in a previous story. What are they doing? If they see you going and having a medical episode to the point where your dog has to alert you and they're barking and you have to sit down and probably take some medicine? You have to take some medicine. I know real words. I am a grown person. And you have to take some medicine. You have to do some exercises, some deep breathing. I honestly don't know. You have to do some meditation to calm down your heart because you have a heart condition. Where is everybody else at? Where's everybody else at? How is this bitch not being cussed the fuck out? I know you probably can't get ramped up and get fired up because you have a heart condition. But nah, this kind of shit will get you cussed out by me. Tuh. I swear, man. I swear. Oh, you know what? I was about to move on, but here's another comment, and we're kind of just leaving this out. OK_passion_646242. These usernames, man. Anyone that messages you on her behalf, let them know that you forward this information on to the police as part of the ongoing investigation for the doxing. And actually do it because a paper trail is the only thing that offers you any type of protection, not the asshole. Also, it's not your fault she was fired. She was fired because she pushed every limit she was given and then went over the line. Yeah, realities are she's telling these people, all her friends and family, a completely different story. You might walk outside one day and get cracked over the head. You might get cracked upside the head because she told the wrong person the right story that they had to hear with your information, where you work, who you are, the fact of the matter that you have a dog. She don't even have to show them a picture because it seems and sounds like that you might be the only person with a service dog there. That will get you followed home, cracked upside the head, and then you're on the street having a fucking heart attack. Not just a head wound, but a heart attack. And your dog can't do anything for you at that point. Ooh, you definitely should go to the police. If anyone's dropping your information online, if anyone is doxing you online and you didn't do some crazy ass fuck shit, if you weren't being a super racist, right? Doxing other people, I don't even know what's like acceptable to dox somebody. I don't even know when it would be acceptable to dox somebody. Because it's like, who's putting forth that effort to find somebody's whole ass address? This person already knows. Where you work because you worked with them. But still, putting first name, last name, where you work online, and then having these people hit your DMs, hit your social media, go crazy in your inbox. Oh, this hurts me. Definitely go to the police. If you get doxxed, go to the police. It's that simple. Like they said, you need a paper trail, right? All these cops, all these precincts are different. They handle shit differently. Laws are different state to state, I believe. I don't know if they are city to city or county to county when it comes to doxing, but it's not okay. It's not okay. People are crazy. People are crazy. There are hundreds of millions of guns in this country. There are thousands of gun deaths every year. It's so easy to get shot by a crazy person. She will play and pull on people's heartstrings. I am now fired in a time period where jobs are precarious and I have 3 children to feed. Also, she can set it up so that, I am also not getting unemployment because it was unjustified firing and I have to fight this. Oh, boo-hoo, wee, poor little me. And the person will come and they will hurt you. Oh, good Lord. Go to the cops. Damn. Fuck, are you the asshole for getting this bitch fired? Are you the asshole for not moving quicker and having this situation handled at the very jump? I understand the fact of the matter that you were new at this job 3 months in. Oh, yeah. That is pertinent information. I see why you moved the way you did. Yeah. That's one thing, too. That whole 90-day temp shit thing, where you don't really have any rights until afterwards, and then you're kind of officially hired in. That's one thing that I'm not really a fan of. I see why she moved the way she did. I see. I can understand a little bit more. Yeah, but fuck that. Go to the cops. We're over in r/ am I the asshole with an H with a post by Zombie Tipperary 1283. Am I the asshole for slapping a woman that was protecting my baby? I, 31 male, Tim, and my wife, 29 female, Ashley, welcomed our healthy baby boy, Ned, into the world 6 months ago. Her brother, Mike, is a 24 male with special needs. He has had many medical issues since birth and is different than most people. However, he is the kindest and most fun person to be around, especially when he is talking about sports. When Ned was born, Mike was very hesitant in holding him, but he was very curious about him. This last month, Mike actually wanted to hold Ned. My wife and I were thrilled. We do have rules in place for holding him, for holding Ned, but Mike likes the rules. Mike needs to be sitting down and with my wife, Mike's parents, or I need to be around him. This is mainly in case Ned gets fussy, so we can take him from Mike so he doesn't get overwhelmed. A week ago, Ashley's cousin, Don's daughter, Lily, graduated high school and was throwing a party with her best friend, Anna. So many names. We know both of the girls and wanted to go celebrate with them. Mike wanted to come, but his parents didn't, which was totally fine, and we brought him. Ashley was on an outdoor patio couch talking with Dawn while I had Ned. I was talking to a coworker that happened to be a friend of Anna's family. Mike came up and asked to hold Ned, which we went over to Ashley, and he sat down. I gave Ned to Mike and asked Ashley if she needed a water since I was going to grab a beer from our cooler. I went to get the drink and was talking with my coworker when a woman, Karen, started screeching, saying, "He shouldn't be holding that baby." Uh, we live in a place heavily influenced by certain religions, and she was saying how someone like Mike shouldn't be holding babies. She was screaming that Mike would drop Ned and hurt him, and how is everyone just ignoring it? Ashley asked the woman to stop yelling and stood up, standing in view of the Karen for Mike. As she was telling Mike he was fun, but the woman kept screaming, oh, that he was going to hurt Ned. And I think, Tim, you meant to say fine. These parents are sleep deprived. This got Mike flustered in turn, made Ned start to cry. Ashley took Ned from Mike, who was instantly covering his ears. I started heading towards them when Ashley was asking the woman to stop and leave them alone. Karen responded with, "How could a mother let an abomination from God hold on to an innocent baby? He's going to hurt the baby now and in the future." She is yelling. As she was yelling, she was getting closer to my wife and pointing at Mike over and over. Before I reached her, my wife turned and slapped the woman across the face. Ooh, Karen stopped yelling for a moment, and I came up and took and took Ned from Ashley. Some man came over and grabbed Karen, who was freaking out that Ashley had hit her. Ashley told Karen if she keeps yelling that she would give her a black eye to go with the handprint on her face. Don was able to help get Karen away from us. Ashley had to lift Mike off of the couch and guide him to the car so we could leave. I grabbed Ned's stuff and we went to the car where Mike was crying and apologizing for hurting Ned. Ashley was crying and telling him he did nothing wrong. Aw. I drove to my in-laws and told them everything. Mike was able to get into a therapist the next day and has been going every day. In the middle of the week, my wife went to talk with Lily and Anna. Happened to be there as well. Ashley felt bad because the party got ruined, and Anna was apologizing that her aunt did that. Ashley had gotten the girls' massage certificates to apologize and help them celebrate going into college. Anna tried not to take it, but my wife insisted. It wasn't Anna's fault that the adult Karen acted the way she did. Currently, Mike is still going to therapy, but the therapist said an event like this can take some time. He will come around, Ned, and is happy to see him, but won't ask to hold him. Oh, this makes me sad now. If you ask Mike to hold Ned, he will quickly say no and leave the room. Taking some commenters' advice, we are going to try to just have Mike hang around on a blanket on the floor with Ned to see if this helps him be more comfortable. Karen has found Ashley on social media and has messaged her along with some friends and family. From what I gathered, she is only telling people she was protecting the baby and my wife hit her for no reason. She has threatened to sue, but as of today, hasn't done anything. I work with a lawyer who has put me in touch with one that is willing to represent my wife if it ever comes to that. Fingers crossed that Mike will be comfortable to soon hold his nephew. We will also try to update if things change. My wife vented to one of her friends in her mommy and me class that ended up telling everyone what happened. All the moms say my wife went too far when striking a woman. That has made my wife wonder if her protective instincts were too much. She was worried for her child and brother's safety and didn't want to give Karen a chance to get physical. I hope this makes more sense for people, and thank you for all the loving comments so far. To me, it seems like this was updated a couple times, so I probably should have chilled before those last two things I read and separated them out. But that's neither here nor there. Besides your grammar, your lack of periods and commas, and your spelling for some of these things in this post, y'all are cool with me. Y'all are cool with me. Again, I'm Mr. Always on 10, so I'm vibing with your wife. I'm vibing with your wife. We throwing hands immediately. Immediately. All right. You're not about to be screaming and yelling and cussing and fussing, run up on me and my child. My child is in my arms. My 6-month-old is in my arms. Your wife did a fantastic job clocking her shit. Right? She did a fantastic job threatening her and letting her know. And keep it up. I'm gonna rock your shit. You did a fantastic job getting the baby out of her arms, away from the potential throwdown that was about to happen, right? But just as easily, when you were in range, you should grab that bitch by her head and slam her on the fucking ground and put your knee on her back, right? Put your goddamn knee on her back like you were a poorly trained police officer. So she can understand what the fuck she did was just insane. And then you should have proceeded to smack her on her face or the back of her head, with each and every single word being, you crazy bitch, get your fucking life together. Don't go yelling at my wife or my brother-in-law. Stay the fuck away from my baby. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Now, would the cops have been called? Absolutely. Absolutely. They would have been like, this is a grown-ass 300-pound man with his knee on the back of my wife's neck. Oh, my God. He's just been smacking her over and over again, saying things like, stay away from my baby. Oh, no. It would have been on the phone. I'm crying. Nah, for real, though. Her husband probably would have tackled you or me. Well, how am I making up this hypothetical? Is it me? Is it you? Top comments with 10,000 upvotes. An abomination? She said your brother was an abomination. Holy crapola. I might have put her face on a barbecue grill. I can't believe you didn't give her a knuckle sandwich. You're also not the asshole. I hope your brother was okay and that he still likes to hold the baby sometimes. As we know now, he's going to therapy every single day. Man, there is no insurance taking care of that. We're talking about hundreds of dollars every single week. Every single week. This woman has caused irreparable damage to this young man who was just trying to navigate life due to the issues that he is going through that he didn't cause himself. He didn't cause this himself. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. It's such a financial strain on that family. And it doesn't have to be that way. And again, right? If you're watching this entire episode, if you're listening to this entire episode, these people are not real religious people. They claim it. They claim it. And one of the comments said it before, and this is how I came up with it myself. People use and wield religion like a sword and a shield. Really a spear and a shield, right? If you're swinging anything, if you're slinging anything in their way, any negativity, any comments, if you want to demean them, if you want to check them, if you want to put them in their place, if you want to educate them, they will hold up religion as a shield. And when they want to hurt you, when they want to attack you, and they won't think of it that way, they will absolutely be stabbing you with a spear, with a sword. They will be attacking you with religion, right? They want to be better than you. They want to feel like they are better than you. They want to think that they know more than you because of the book that they have not finished reading, right? The Bible, the Torah, the Quran, right? And you might see it. You might see it on social media. These people are plain Muslim. These people are plain Jewish. These people are plain Christian. And I truly mean it. I truly mean it. Some of these people were absolutely raised Christian and Jewish. Some of these people absolutely converted to Judaism and over to Islam and over to Christianity. But these people are poorly educated. These people have no theological history. They have not done the classes necessary to know. They do not know the languages, right? You can look at some of the most famous losers online, like a Sneeko or a Aiden Ross. These people are plain Muslim and plain Jewish. Whenever they get some flack, they get to hide behind it. Oh, you're coming after the Jews. Oh, you're coming after me because I'm Muslim. You guys don't follow your rules. You're out in the clubs. You're out here snorting drugs. You're out here having threesomes. You're out here hiding the butt sex that you're having with dudes. And in the real world, you want to live your life like this, but anytime somebody throws some flack at you, oh shit, you you're just treating me bad because of my religion. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then all the weirdos online get to attack the people who came after them. Right? Ooh, you can't come after this guy because his religion, that's messed up. They get the hot behind it, and everything just moves on so quickly. But these attacks don't. These attacks don't. These opinions get formed, and people start hating people. Right? All because people want to hide behind their religion. But there's a stark difference between these weirdo internet personalities and a motherfucker in your face. I will break your jaw. Back the fuck off me and my family. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. I've said it 3 times. Now look at you gasping on the ground with holes in your chest. That sucks. You shouldn't have threatened me on camera. 6.2K, baby. 6.2K. Not upvotes. That's the resolution. I'm not catching shit on 1080p or 4K. I'm catching the shit in 6K. Because I can. Because I'm him. I'm Mr. Always on 10. And now we going to court. Your family suing me because you don't exist anymore. And that's that. I win. I win. You lose. Ha ha. So sad. Sucks to be you. We had another comment with 7.9K upvotes. Absolutely not the asshole. And you did not go too far. She was not protecting your baby. She was attacking your brother unprovoked. She deserved a black eye. I'm sad she didn't get it. And Old Town Witch comments and putting the baby in potential danger by aggravating the brother. I'm not saying the brother would harm the baby deliberately or anything like that, but if he had bolted or something, this is why they always have an adult present when he holds the baby. I misread that. This woman endangered her child because she's hateful and prejudiced. All right. She's absolutely that kind of woman who would have been lobotomized in the 1950s. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. 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 That bitch talks too much. Ugh. By minimum dash ring 5452, they comment, not the asshole. You were protecting your family. If anything, you're approaching your brother the way she did, that was putting the baby in danger. I need a comma there. Why? If the mother is sitting right next to him saying it's okay, then it's okay. I do believe you were in wrong for apologizing at all to that mother, because she now probably thinks that what she did was okay when it clearly wasn't. She had no right to assume what was going on in his head. Majority of his sick thoughts come from the ones who look completely normal and inviting. But good job, mamas, for protecting and standing up for your family. This is the only comment from OP. Sorry, I should have made it more clear. I only apologize to the girls and their parents because I felt like it ruined their celebration. I am not going to apologize to the aunt for slapping her. I feel like she deserved it. And Minimum Ring replies to OP saying, okay, that's valid since it was their event. But anyone who says you were in the wrong, drop them. You have other family and friends that support you, and that's all you need. Did y'all see or hear how well I just read that? There were so many comments missing, and they used the wrong there. They used the wrong there. Oh my God. Oh my God. The public. Maybe it's autocorrect. Maybe it's autocorrect. The public school education system. Oh. We're going to move on from this story. All right. We're over in r/am I the asshole with an H with a post by Gloomy Pension 5478. Am I the asshole for telling my boss they either fire their new employee or I'm gone? Which resulted in them firing her. Okay. I have worked at a small local business for almost 12 years now. We have about 8 employees currently and are short staffed. About 3 weeks ago, they hired on some woman in her 50s who we will call Karen. Karen, in the beginning, was very appreciative of being hired on as her husband is out of work following a car wreck and their home was in the process of foreclosure. She stated she had been searching for employment for months, but no one would hire her because she has zero employment history. She was a stay at home wife, no kids. Now, in the beginning, Karen and I got along well enough, but shit hit the fan last week. She stated she has 5 dogs, and I simply made the comment that I don't like dogs and could never have one as a pet. I told her I like other people's dogs well enough, but I can never have my own, basically. She took it as a personal attack, apparently. She turned around in her chair and avoided me the rest of the shift. That night, my phone started blowing up with Facebook notifications from her. I don't have her as a friend on there. She was going through and laugh reacting at every photo of my children that were posted as public because they're tagged photos. If that wasn't bad enough, she then comments underneath a photo of my youngest, 4-month-old. Ew, you don't like dogs, but you like these ugly things? With 2 throw-up emojis. And another comment, not even 30 seconds later, on a photo of my 12-year-old son and 10-year-old daughter saying gross. I screenshot everything and then blocked her. The next day I go to my boss and hand over my phone with all the screenshots pulled up. I tell him, either you fire her right now or I'm gone. I refuse to be in the same workplace as this bitch. Well, Karen just happened to walk into his office while I was in there, and he immediately told her to collect her items from her desk and leave. She asked why, and he pointed to the screenshots on my phone and said, "This is why." She started berating me, of course, because I got her fired when she was desperately needs money and because they will lose their home and no one else will hire her. And she can't believe I'm being so sensitive and that she just wanted me to feel how she felt when I threw in her face that I don't like dogs. Am I the asshole? No. What the fuck? No. Oh. You always hear the phrase "you're better than me," because there are negative and positive connotations applied to certain actions and phrases. And it almost popped out of my mouth that this person is better than me because I would have rocked her shit. You're calling my kids ugly and gross. You're saying that dogs are better than my children, animals. Even though we're all animals, we're at the top of the food chain. We're of higher reasoning. We automatically perceive and care more for our own species than others. A large part of the human population eats dogs, and who gives a fuck? Right? If you could keep a dog as a pet, then people keep cows and chickens as pets. And then we eat cows and chickens. What are we doing here? Oh, shit. Oh, I'm going insane here. I would have rocked her shit. I don't care if you're 50. I don't care if you're going to lose your job. I'm losing my job today. You're talking shit about my kids? My kids? I don't even have kids. Just imagine if I actually had kids. I'm turning into the hash-slinging slasher in that motherfucker. Turning into Jack the Ripper. Let me use an actual real person. Oh, man. You know what this is? And I read this already. I read the story already. And this might be in the comments, but I had an epiphany as I was reading, right? She had this crazy ass reaction because she's 50 and she probably is incapable of having children. That's why she has 5 dogs, because she grew up in a time period where she was raised by parents who simply socialized her to such a large degree that it is your existence in life to be a wife and to be a mother. Being a mother is the greatest thing possible. Having children is the greatest God-given thing possible that can ever happen to you. And then she learned that she can't have kids. And her husband was fine with that, probably, potentially. I mean, because he married her ass. And 5 doggies was more than enough, right? That's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming. But you're 50, bitch. Get some fucking therapy. Get over your fucking issues. If I'm going to give her even the, like, most amounts of, like, I don't know, lights? I don't know. I don't even know the word I'm looking for. You know the word I'm looking for, right? If I want to be nice, then she has reproductive issues and she was never capable of having kids. And or her husband has reproductive issues because it takes 2 to tango. We know how this works, right? Or she has lost kids. She has lost children. Either they came into existence into the world and they passed, or she had miscarriages. That's what I'm thinking. Top comment was 7K upvotes by Bailey the Nerd, not the asshole. And they got that shit in bold, all caps. I didn't even know you can do that on Reddit. I suspect that someone who's surprised that harassment will get her fired is the kind of person that's hard to hire. I doubt her lack of employment history had much to do with her financial woes. And then welcome former drops the tea. Yeah, it sounds like tea. It might not be the truth, but it sounds like the truth. It had to do with her getting fired from other jobs and not being able to use them as recommendations. Yeah, because if you're out here getting fired every 3 months, every 6 months, if you're doing part-time work, you can't have that on your resume if they're going to call around. You got to start typing in the phone number and the location. You got to do all this and all that. And she's going to be thinking in her 50-year-old head like, I was kind of a bitch this last job. I can't really put them down like that. All of a sudden, I'm going to just be a stay-at-home wife. Yeah. Can't put this job down, this job down, this job down, this job down. Alrighty then. It's birds. I'm hearing a weird sound. I'm like, who's about to get shot? Oh, man. And OP does not drop any comments that, yeah, they do. They drop 2 comments. Where are these comments at? And I can't find them. Yay. Oh, no, I can. Oh, she drops comments replying to the people who got downvoted into oblivion. That's why they didn't pop up for me. With negative 63 upvotes by Biff Tannen 43. Not the asshole. Also, no way in hell is this a true story. OP replies, I knew there would be at least one. It didn't happen to me, so it didn't happen at all. In the mix. LOL. But no, this shouldn't have happened. It is real. And she's just a psycho, apparently. Okay. I see what it is. OP is just replying to the to somebody just being a jerk. Right. Let's go back to some other top comments. About deleted user, she harassed you, taking shots at your kid is beyond unacceptable. By Alorius Dannon. These aren't real words. Why did you string these letters together? Karen is now the new member of the Fuck Around and Find Out Club. Fafo. Maybe she will learn from this, but I doubt it. Excuse me for belching. Lynn's Crow comments, I can only imagine how it went when she went home and had to tell her husband that she was fired from her new job. And then Mama Bear 50 comments, I know, you know, she lied to her husband. I'm betting the story was along the lines of, I got fired because my coworker doesn't like my dogs. I feel so bad for him, matter of the fact. Because he's like married to a piece of shit, but he's recovering from a car wreck and he can't do anything. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Is he not getting any kind of assistance? Well, it doesn't matter because he's not getting enough and they're potentially going into foreclosure. I say potentially because this bitch could be a liar. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are you talking shit about my kids? You're such a piece of shit. Ugh. Yeah, everybody's vibing with this one, not the asshole. Ugh. Yeah, not the asshole. We're over in the Am I the Asshole subreddit with a post by Mama Rooney with 2 U's. Am I the asshole for yelling at a couple of boys at the fair? And did I have a Karen moment? Hi, Reddit. Hey, Karen Mama Rooney. I, 31 female, had a moment at the fair this weekend and realized after that I may have been a Karen. I took my toddler, a 3 male, to enjoy the fair with some friends and their toddlers. They wanted to go into one of the young kid play mazes that has a couple of small obstacles, such as a punching bag maze, rope climb, and 2 swinging bridges before ending in a slide back to the ground. Oh, that's awesome. A sign at the entrance lists the rules, such as no roughhousing, swinging on the bridge excessively, etc. I went in with my toddler since he is still young and gets scared in some high places. He and I were both doing great until we hit the second and last bridge. We were a little over halfway across when it started swinging back and forth pretty violently. My toddler froze from fear and kept saying he couldn't do it. I started to feel a bit scared as well, as I have a shaky faith in fair rides / attractions, which is understandable. I tried not to think about the bridge breaking and him and I both falling and being unable to protect him. I tried to reassure him that it was just a bit further, but he wasn't budging. I waited a moment thinking the swinging rope would pass, but then I looked behind us, past our friend and her toddler, and saw 2 young boys, probably 9 to 12 years old, purposely swinging the bridge back and forth with their full body weight. I snapped. My deep mom voice came out, and I yelled at them once to stop. One boy did, but the other one stared me down and kept shaking the bridge. I stared back and yelled if they wanted to move forward, they need to stop because we aren't able to move until they do. He didn't completely stop, but he lessened the intensity enough for my toddler to start walking again, and he made it off the bridge. After we made it out safely on the ground, I started to feel bad about yelling at the boys. I think my own fear probably made it worse and more dangerous than it actually was, and I overreacted, especially because I don't know the boys and it wasn't my place to yell at them. I wish I had been thinking clearly in the moment and tried to ask them to please wait until the toddlers were off the bridge. Am I an asshole and a Karen? Fuck no. Fuck no. The attraction is over at the bottom of the slide. I'm waiting at the bottom of the slide, and as the kids come sliding down, I'm slapping them one by one, and I'm yelling at them in my deep mom voice. Who the fuck do you think you fucking are, you little shits? I'm grabbing them up by the ears. I'm telling them, point to where your parents are, and I'm bringing them over, and then I'm boxing with the parents. These cheap ass carnival rides are not made for anything but to make $1. They're not made to keep you safe. That's why the little bit of rules are there. As soon as you pay to get in, you are signing a liability waiver. I mean, you may win a lawsuit. If you fall, if an attraction malfunctions and you break your neck, but that is after you break your neck. What are these dumbass little kids doing? What movie, what TikToks are they seeing? What YouTube shorts, Instagram reels are they seeing, right? That provokes them into thinking that this kind of shit is okay. No, fuck no. No, I'm beating the brakes off little kids like this. No, wait, hold on. Let me get my life together. The slaps are enough. The cussing out is enough. Grabbing them by the ears is enough. But then you got to box the parents, because what are the parents doing? Your kids are acting up like this. You are responsible for your children. They belong to you. They are essentially legally your property, right? If your dog bites somebody and rips their arm off, that dog is being put down and you are facing fed time potentially, right? All kinds of fines, Is it Fed time? It doesn't matter. You're facing jail time. Yes, not Fed time. It may be a federal crime, but I doubt it is. Right. But if somebody's arm gets ripped off by a dog, you're going to big boy jail. You're going to prison. Right. So if your kids fucking make somebody fall and hurt themselves, especially multiple people, multiple kids and adults, ugh, right? Because the park, the carnival, the attractions they would get a free pass. They would say, here are the rules that these kids broke, and they violently forced apart. Right, they exceeded the weight capacities, limitations of the attraction for what they were capable of, and caused it to malfunction. So we are not at fault. Sue the family. The family would get sued. The kids wouldn't get sued. The family would get sued. Right? Potentially, the parents would do. That needs to be a law. That needs to be like codified federally. Right. Right. If you're 4. Let's say 4 to 12-year-old. Because I don't know how juvie works age wise. I do not know how it works in the United States or other countries at all. Period. If your 4 to 12-year-old does something that causes violently bodily harm or just bodily harm to other children and or adults or property, let's say that, the parents are responsible. And we can attach fines. Yeah, we're going to separate violent bodily harm and death away from bodily harm and property damage. We're going to separate those as they should be. You have to do fines, parental education, community service, and depending on the children's age, they have to also do community service, therapy, maybe some anger management, depending on how the things are set up. And then juvie, right? Depending on the crime, is definitely on the table. Definitely on the table. But the parents also still have to pay, right? 13 to 17, the parents also have to pay. 18 if you're still in school, right? Once the summertime, once you're 18 and you're not a senior anymore, you've graduated, you're out, you've dropped out. You've dropped out of school after 16. Yeah, if you dropped out of school after 16, if you're working towards your GED or you dropped out, right? If you're just out of school post 16, out of school post 18, and you're still 18, you're still 16, 17, 18, then this is when we're treating you as an adult. This is when we're treating you as an adult. And maybe, right, we still treat you as an adult when you turn 18. Excluding like murder and the highest form of assault of the sexual manner, right? You know what I want to say, but YouTube is hey, they're not going to like that if I start saying that over and over again. As long as you're not doing those two things and certain degrees of those two things, because there's a wide margin for how things are set up, right? First degree, second degree, and all that. We'll set you up for jail time. We'll set you up for prison time. But you gotta finish your high school education. Maybe we might have you do it from home or online. Yep. So you aren't a potential threat, or maybe we will absolutely make you do it from home or online. So you are not around other children and potentially being a bad influence or continuously being a bad influence on other children. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm spitballing here. I'm just spitballing hard here. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. honestly. But these kids' parents need to pay for their actions. They raised them, they socialized them, they had the brunt of this. And then of course school and social media and their friends go hand in hand with it as like a second and third level of like influence over them. But I couldn't imagine doing no shit like this at 9, 10, 11, 12. I couldn't imagine doing other stuff like this. I could imagine doing stupid things because my friends convinced me to. But again, I went to such a good school that the stupid shit that we did was not near this level, potentially causing bodily harm to people. Top comment. Not the assholes, not the asshole. Rules were no swinging on a bridge. Plus, they must have seen a toddler and should have known better. Telling someone to stop is fine. It's not like you told them or yelled at them or anything. We got another one by, wait, hold on, I think I messed up. Did I mess up? I didn't do my job. That's on me. We got another comment by a deleted user, not the asshole. This is important for kids to learn. Every kid that age goes through a phase where they think so long as their parents or teachers don't see, they can do whatever they want. Strangers giving them a clue helps them realize the importance of common courtesy, even when mom isn't watching. When I was around that age, I got yelled at for not cleaning up dog poop by some random lady. And guess what? My little ass never did that again. Ooh. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, your people definitely do shit when they think people aren't looking. That's why we have so much litter. Not only because the government refuses to pay for trash cans at intermittent places, like how New York has it set up, right? People are they're just throwing shit. But societally, if you get berated, right, by other people, if they look down at you, if there are social consequences, you will not act in certain ways, and it is good to lock that in, right? And not just the fear of consequences, but again, if you raise your kids right, they will have an understanding that this should not happen because it is not a good thing. This should not take place. This should not be done. Whew. And Eric Gwyn, I don't know how to say that word. These usernames get to me, replies, yeah, I actually think that in some ways getting corrected by a stranger makes more of an impact. Parents with the attitude of nobody can say anything to my kid, even if they're doing wrong, just results in kids failing to learn that other people are actually people whose opinions they're going to have to heed sooner to or later. Better the kids learn that sooner, it will make them more polite and like and set them up to not be little shitheads going to juvie and or jail later on, or just the fact of the matter hurting people. Because a lot of people do wrong in the world. Sorry, I gotta get my stretch on. A lot of people do wrong in the world, but they don't experience consequences for it. So they continue on doing things bad and they continue down that path. And if they don't get corrected at points early enough, even when they do get corrected later on, they continue on. They don't think it's crazy and they don't think it's bad. They don't think there's anything wrong with the way they maneuver through life. And people get hurt consistently. More and more people get hurt. Right? And what hurt people do? They hurt people. A zombie Scooby-Doo. Well, that zombie Scooby-Doo movie from back in the day was fantastic. Nobody wants to see an actual zombie Scooby-Doo. They comment, not the asshole. Sometimes it takes a village. Mean strangers fussing at your kids. You mean at your kids when they can't act right. That is not playing. Shaking the bridge is not an age appropriate, nor would the carnival like it. You should have gone farther and reported them to the ride operators. Maybe they get kicked out. Plus, with the weight on that bridge, that forceful shaking could have weakened the ropes holding it up. I would like to ask, how far was the drop? Because I doubt it was far enough to die. Those kind of things are usually only a foot or two off the ground. So why as a grown adult, were you scared? Oh, snap. They got an image of the ride. Oh, hell no. What the fuck? What are we doing? I found an image of the ride online. I'll see if it lets me share the link. It's called Raiders. By the time you're on the second bridge, you are pretty high up. I'm not sure exactly what that is. And the ride is reported to be at 25 feet off the ground. And it fucking looks like it. Oh, hell no. Hell no. That's crazy. No. Oh, I gotta save this. I gotta make sure I gotta make sure y'all see this. Y'all gonna be like, what the fuck is he doing right now? I'm saving the picture. My fault. My fault. Mm-mm. 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 Hell no. Hey, you gotta be a certain height off rip for that to even be okay. Oh, you know what? Why wasn't there a ride operator at the top? I'm actually so curious because I'm seeing in the image that there's an operator up or just a person, like a little monitor at the top. I'm wondering if they were just down at the bottom letting kids in, so they couldn't be. They didn't have enough manpower to have somebody at the top. Oh, that's just pissing me off. I don't have any more thoughts really. So we got a dumbass commenting something here, and OP replies, Polo Bandito Knox. They have rides and attractions for kids your son's age. While the kids were probably breaking the rules, you and your kid were so scared you couldn't walk. I think you were being really dramatic. You're the asshole. And OP replies, I could walk and would have preferred to keep walking, but my son stopped and wouldn't walk due to being afraid once it started swinging back and forth violently. The attraction was advertised for his age and older, so I didn't think he was too young for it. However, it was his first time on a ride on this sort of attraction, and I went with him in case he got scared in the new experience. I didn't feel it was safe to try and pick him up on the swinging bridge otherwise. I would have done that to get him across without even checking what was going on behind us. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. And the way the bridge is set up, if she had picked her baby up and they kept swinging the bridge even harder, she may have got swung to one side and the baby may have went tumbling. Fuck no. Oh my God. I was imagining the bridge was looking different in my mind. I'm like, oh, maybe the kids are hiding and they're just waiting for every single person to come past, every single little baby. Because this looks like it's meant for like a 3 to 6 or 7 year old. It's meant no 9, 10, 11, 12-year old should be on this ride. It doesn't even look like parents should be on it, to be completely honest, because of how small the slide looks. But I understand why she got on there. My big ass probably would have got stuck in the slide. That's how small it looks. Legitimately, to me in the picture, that's how small it looks. This is crazy. Them kids would have got hit when they came down. Them kids would have absolutely got punched when they came down. No. For the last story of the day, we are here with the coup de grace. I don't even know what that word means, but I've seen people use it and it's provocative. It gets the people going. You feel it? Do you feel the energy, baby? That's what I'm talking about. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And if you don't, it's your fault. I need you to get it together. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Hopefully I didn't destroy your ears with that one, but we are over in the r/am I the asshole subreddit with a post by Lightning Straits. Am I the asshole for raining on my cousin's parade regarding the name she picked out for her baby? My cousin Stephanie and I are really more friends than relatives. An important note is that she's not really online much, so she can be out of the loop on certain memes and jokes in internet culture, and to be honest, doesn't really understand the concept of viral internet references or how they work. Stephanie is pregnant and just found out it was going to be a girl. About a week ago, she told a gathering of her best girlfriends that she was going to name her daughter Karen. The room instantly went cold, but after an awkward silence, everyone else pointedly said it was lovely. I couldn't bring myself to respond at all. Later in the evening, when Stephanie was out of the room, everyone was immediately like, OMG, that poor kid. And why would she pick Karen of all names? I was uncomfortable with this conversation, given that everyone had been so positive about the name to her face. I thought more about it over the next couple of days and just felt really weird about the whole thing. The name is really loaded to the point it could be detrimental to the baby. And Stephanie had no idea of the connotations to make an informed decision. So a couple of days later, I tentatively brought it up. I told her I was so excited for the baby and just wanted her to have all the available information when picking a name. I then started to explain that Karen has some negative connotations and has become sort of an internet joke to describe a specific kind of entitled middle-aged woman. Stephanie was instantly furious and started talking over me, saying, "Why are you saying this? This is so mean." I was really surprised by her reaction. It felt very, very out of character. So I immediately stopped talking and said, "I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I just wanted to tell you something I thought you might not know." She replied, "That's the name I picked for my daughter, and you think I picked it as some sort of joke? I don't understand why you would say something so hurtful." When she said that, I felt like it signaled that she didn't really understand what I was trying to tell her. So after agonizing for a second about whether to press the issue, even though she was so angry, I felt like in for a penny, in for a pound. And since she was already mad, I wanted her to at least understand what I was trying to explain to her. So I Googled Karen, know your mean on my phone and tried to show her the screen of results while saying, "Look, I'm just saying that there's more meaning to the name than you may realize." She stood up, pushed my phone away, and shouted, "Wow." She then stormed out of my home and drove away. My aunt and mom have been berating me all week because Stephanie told them that I made fun of her baby name. Stephanie has not spoken to me or responded to my text since. I can take a hint, and I'm not going to broach the topic again that's caused so much distress, but I keep going back and forth on whether I was the asshole here by bringing it up in the first place. And you already know that this is an old one, but this is an absolute classic, right? Because the top comment with 1,700 upvotes is, "You're the asshole." You really think it's going to matter when this kid's older? It's a meme. Oh, and for anyone pregnant or planning to have kids, this is why you don't reveal the baby name until they're born. Someone's always got something stupid to say, no matter what. Yeah, precisely. Internet memes come and go in a flash. I think OP is massively exaggerating the likelihood that the associations will stick around. These people are dumb. They don't know what they said. They would have been spot on, but to this day, people are still throwing Karen around. Ooh, I could not imagine this kid being bullied out of existence. 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Yes, they would have been bullied. Ooh. Let's read the update. We're not even going to read through all these comments like that. Edits number 1. Thanks, everyone. I have been properly schooled and I accept my judgment that I was the asshole here. Stephanie and I have a history of being extremely open and honest with each other. I was the maid of honor in her wedding, which she planned on being the case from a young age. And we always joked as teenagers that part of my duties would include talking her out of the marriage if the groom she picked sucked. And so maybe I was too flippant when approaching this topic due to our history and was unempathetic in understanding how much she was already invested in the name she chose for her future daughter. I admit I'm a bit frustrated that Stephanie still doesn't understand what I was trying to tell her. She still thinks I was trying to make some kind of weird, cruel joke, accusing her of picking a name as a joke. But I have messaged her a sincere apology that she accepted. I will never speak of this again to Stephanie or baby Karen. I'll also stand up for Stephanie if her other friends shit talk the name around me again. If they're not willing to voice their thoughts to Stephanie directly, they need to not say the kind of things they were behind her back. Edit number 2. One more thing. I was definitely not trying to tell Stephanie to not name her daughter Karen. I just wanted her to make the decision either way, knowing the connotations, since I'd want someone to do the same for me if I picked a baby name with the cultural baggage I wasn't aware of. I realize now I handled it poorly and was hurtful to Stephanie in the process, but I just wanted to be clear that I wasn't actively trying to talk her out of the name. I just didn't want her to be blindsided if it came up later. Kids are cruel. Kids are cruel. This post is 7 years old that I'm reading right now. This post came up right essentially after Karen came into existence as a word, as a phrase, as a meme, as a saying. And this baby would have been bullied to shit as 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, because this is also that point in time when babies really started being iPad kids. They really started being YouTube kids. So it would have been, the baby would have been, it would have been 2024 for the kid, 2023 for the kid going into school. They would have been bullied mercilessly. Can I say the word? Mercilessly. Can I say the word? 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 We're going to move on to the updates. The real update. We got several updates. I'm glad you're here for me for this ride. We're going to read this out and bang it out. We're over to updates. Am I the asshole for raining on my cousin's parade regarding the name she picked out for her baby? My post last summer wasn't the most exciting or dramatic on Am I the Asshole, but I wanted to provide an update if anyone is interested. Baby Karen was born healthy and happy back in October. She's an absolute sweetheart of a baby, and I'm totally in love with her. Between March and May, I didn't get to see her at all in person, but I was doing regular FaceTime / house party calls with Stephanie and Karen. And over the last few weeks, I've been going over to Stephanie's house to sit in her backyard and chat with Stephanie / company. I've been going over to Stephanie's house to sit in her backyard and chat with Stephanie / coo at Karen from a lengthy distance. This is pandemic times. Pandemic. I have two reasons for updating. First, I've realized since Karen's birth that her name has taken on a new meaning to me. When I'm with her, Karen just means her. I don't think about the other connotations. In other words, you guys were right. That said, though, my second reason for updating is that Stephanie got back into her years unused Facebook at the beginning of the pandemic to keep in touch with people. She's been on it pretty regularly lately for the first time in years. Historically, she's not really been in the social media. Most people in our area / social circle have been posting really heavily about Black Lives Matters and the protests happening right now, as well as racial justice issues more generally. As a result, Stephanie has now come into contact with a deluge of Karen memes for the first time and found them confusing and horrifying, especially the use of Karen as a shorthand for a racist. I basically just declined to talk about it with Stephanie because it went so poorly last time. But both my mother and her mother have hounded me about it because it's upsetting Stephanie and said things like, is this what you were talking about before? Why didn't you say so? Why didn't you explain it better? You should have told Stephanie. And Jesus wept. You just can't really win. Thanks again for all your feedback on my last post. It was really helpful in giving me some zen about the situation. You gotta really be ready in your life to box it out with anybody. You really gotta be ready to box it out with anybody. Because here we go. These people want to jump on you. These individuals, your mother, her mother, and Stephanie's hormonal ass. Right. She was pregnant, right? She wasn't trying to hear nothing. Not truly pissed at her, but your mom and her mom need to back the fuck up, get the fuck out of your face, right? With that bullshit. You want to have strong opinions while you lack all the knowledge. You are a benighted individual. And I hate people like that. You are not allowed to have strong opinions when you know nothing about a topic. You are supposed to shut the fuck up and listen. You are supposed to look up what is being talked about, do research if you want to participate. If you want to know what's going on, shut the fuck up and listen. Maybe you'll learn something. Ugh. That's what's really wrong with the world right now. Everyone's got a fucking opinion, but they don't know anything. Right? Everyone wants to have an opinion, but they don't want to listen to people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. We have so many doctors for the first time ever really actually talking to the public about issues that take place. And then other people are getting online thinking that they know shit, talking about things that they have not been trained to speak on, that they have not been put into an education system that they chose themselves to speak about. Right? You are not educated on the topics that you are speaking on. You should shut the fuck up. Up. I give my opinions and simple opinions on things on the internet that are somewhat simple topics, and I don't dive too deeply into them. But when they are deep topics, I am pulling up the documentation, the data, the research, the articles written up by people with master's degrees and PhDs, motherfuckers from Harvard's. I'm talking like a jackass right now. From Harvard. I'm leaving it up to the people who actually knows what the fuck is going on. Right? You don't just get my opinion. You get an informed, precise sliver of information that you can then go and research more yourself from me, from other people. I am just a voice. Right? If you have any takeaway from any of these things, that you need to absolutely look shit up yourself and don't use AI. It lies. Everyone says it hallucinates. If I'm hallucinating and you're asking me a question that you don't know the answer to, that you're about to put down on the test on a paper, that you're about to tell other people, then you're going to act like the arbiter of truth. You can't get that information from me, and I am lying 25% of the time. You won't know what is true. Top comment from Badger Hooker with 200 upvotes. Oh my gosh, are they serious? It's not my fault you guys didn't believe me. Are you a saint for not saying I told you so? And OP replies, to be fair, Stephanie has been cool about it. First, she saw a bunch of posts about the Central Park Karen when that white lady was harassing the black bird watcher in the park and came to me asking to explain why everyone was calling the woman Karen when her name was Amy. Since she's gotten back on Facebook, she often asked me to be like her internet culture interpreter. There are TikTok accounts for this, and this is definitely not when TikTok was around, but UrbanDictionary.com would have got you together. I immediately told her, sorry, I'm not having a conversation with you about this because we had a major conflict over it last year, and I'm not getting into it with you. I think that was the first time she started to understand what I've been telling her last year. And in fairness to her, she didn't bring it up with me again after that. As for my mom and aunt, they're kind of generally ridiculous. They tend to be extremely reactive to whatever is going on precisely at that moment. As if someone in the family is upset, they get overly involved trying to fix it. Stephanie has been venting to her mom about this, not about me, just how upsetting the memes are. And she and my mom have just been doing their normal kind of thing, blowing it out of proportion, and now making it my fault somehow. I love my mom and aunt dearly, but they're not to be reasoned with. Okay, they need a reset. Smack them on the back of the head, right? And that's the factory reset. Smack them on the back of the head. Oh, you can't hit me. Smack them on the back of the head. You're my smack them on the back of the head, right? If their health is in good order, smack them on the back of the head, right? Because their mental health is not where it needs to be. Obviously, their brain there's a little scrambled. When back in the day, shit, the remote's not working. Shit, the TV's not working. You smack it on the back of the head. That gets it working, right? Right? Oh man, don't try to live life as if your parents are always right. They're wrong most of the time. That's just the reality of things. There's so much going on in the entirety of the universe. The amount of things that they know and the amount of things that they know that is actually correct for the level of information that they know it's at makes them infinitesimally wrong. And I can't even get that word out. That's how you know that I'm wrong. Parents live their lives like their children belong to them, like they are property, like they are a being that is like a god to them. And when you question them, when you tell them that they are wrong, they get flabbergasted, they get incredulous, and they act out of order. Right? They act like kids themselves. And hopefully you don't have parents like that. Hopefully you can correct your parents. Hopefully you don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting to even convince them that what they're doing is wrong. But I do. Hey, mom and dad. Hi. Get your shit together. So just smack them on the back of the head. I don't do that to my parents. But I'm absolutely yelling at them. I'm a person that hates to be told that he's wrong, especially when I put so much effort into surrounding myself with educational information as far as my social media feed, as far as my level of research that I do. All right, I am not a master's or PhD candidate, so the level of research that I am capable of doing does not equal out to the level of research that professionals in specific fields are capable of doing. But I generally have my shit together. Right. If my stats aren't just a couple years old, I have my shit together. Right. Especially when things are relevant to what's going on in the world right now. Moving on to the next updates. Update on baby Karen, if anyone is still following this. Hi, all. I've gotten a few PMs over the last couple of years asking for updates. And since we just celebrated Karen's 3rd birthday, I wanted to circle back to anyone following the story. First of all, baby Karen, not so much of a baby anymore, is doing amazingly on her developmental milestones. She's a very bright child, sharp as the sharpest tack, and extremely tuned into her environment. Some of what she says is already fully in complete sentences, which just makes me want to cry when I hear it, because it seems like Stephanie was just giving birth yesterday. Karen loves books already and will intently study the picture in them for huge stretches of time and claim to be reading. And you would not believe the uncomfortably incisive questions she's asking already. I'm fully convinced this child is going to grow up to be an actual genius. Regarding the name, unfortunately, when Karen started daycare earlier this year, she started getting grief for her name pretty quickly from the older kids. The daycare she attends mixes the ages together at a couple of different points throughout the day. And while there fortunately wasn't much direct bullying, 2 of the age 5s must have heard and internalized the derogatory connotations of the name Karen at home. As a result, they found the name absolutely hysterical. They kind of spread the idea to the other kids that there was something funny/wrong about her name. Karen was too little to understand what was happening, but found the other kids' behavior towards her generally upsetting. The daycare staff made every effort to shut it down and let Stephanie and her husband know right away. After about a month of this, where the daycare wasn't having much success putting the kibosh on this behavior and the kids weren't dropping it, Stephanie and her husband made the decision that Karen would be going by Carrie from now on, which was already an established nickname that a lot of family and friends were already using, and that Karen already recognized herself as referring to that. Stephanie and I never really fully revisited what was happening during her pregnancy, but when she was telling me about what was happening in daycare, she apologized to me. I immediately felt horrible and reassured her there was no reason to apologize. Emotions are complicated when you're pregnant, and that I thought having Karen go by Carrie was a great solution. Though changing what you're used to calling someone is fucking hard, I found that I'm still directly addressing her on manual mode every single time. A lot of responses I got to my last post were gleeful and then leaned into Schadenfreude, leaned into the Schadenfreude. What the fuck are we saying here? Schadenfreude. Huh. Pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. A lot of responses I got to my last post were gleeful and leaned into the Schadenfreude of the situation. And I have to say, those responses really bummed me out. I would much rather live in a world where I was wrong about the impact Karen's name would have on her. I cannot emphasize enough what a sweet disposition, smart, curious, loving little girl Carrie is, and how much she deserves every good thing in life. A lot of people didn't like Stephanie in my last post, but I need you to understand that this is a tiny snapshot of a very emotional, high-strung time in her life. And overall, Stephanie is a wonderful, lifelong friend. She has gotten me through so many personal crises over the years, and she will never fail to show up for the people she cares about. Being pregnant and having a strong emotional attachment to the name you picked out for your daughter is completely understandable, and her pregnancy was pretty rough on her moods. She once wept uncontrollably at a cat food commercial when she was about 7 months pregnant. Okay. I also think my approach for trying to explain the name issue those years ago was very clumsy, and I could have done a better job of bringing it up. That said, with the distance of time, I am really glad I did broach the topic. I feel like I owe Stephanie that information, and I can feel good about giving it to her. If I had chosen to not bring it up at the time, I think I have a lot of regrets now. The only thing I change now, looking back, is that I would try to bring it up more gently somehow with Stephanie so I could have the chance to explain. In summary, all is well. We've run into a little bump on the road with other kids' reactions to Carrie's name, but in some ways it's better to get this out of the way now when Carrie doesn't really understand what's happening than have this happen in kindergarten or elementary school down the road when full-on bullying could be a risk. She's adjusting really well to going by her nickname full-time, and Stephanie and her husband are planning on enrolling her with Carrie as her preferred name in future schooling. And since schools around here go by preferred name rather than legal name in things like classroom roll calls, it's possible she can get through K through 12 without it ever really being widely known among her peers that her legal name is Karen. And I hope this common usage of the name Karen dies down in the next few years. Edit. Really disappointed by getting the hate responses directed at Carrie. Wishing that terrible things befall her and calling her the C word. Please remember, she's an innocent child. What the fuck? Edit number 2. Point of clarification, the boys at daycare apparently didn't know that Karen was a name. Oh, the way the boys heard it used at home made them think it was just a term used to insult people and that it might be a bad word. That's why they found it so funny, because in their worldview, it was like meeting someone named Fartface or asshole. Okay. The daycare staff explained to them that Karen is a real name and that lots of people are named Karen. And of course, they tried their best to curtail the mockery, but nothing really helped until the name change and a little bit of time had passed. Things at the daycare are now back to normal, and other kids are calling her Carrie, and everyone has, fortunately, moved on. Edit number 3, please don't harass Redditors who gave "you're the asshole" judgment on my first post. They gave their honest judgment at the time in an online space specifically set up for that purpose. I didn't post on an advice sub, I posted on a judgment sub. And there's no reason to call people to Matt for judgments I asked for. Made in good faith from 3 years ago. No, I can berate motherfuckers for their opinions years ago, even if they change it now. You said some stupid shit, right? Just the same way how you regret your actions from the past, I can talk shit about somebody's actions from the past, right? If you regret your shit, they should regret their shit, right? If you regrets, you can say it. You can say it. You can definitely they can't update their comments at this point, but today, right? And the realities are those people, they fucked up. Top comment. So Stephanie can only dish out. What a great friendship you have. LMAO. I'm sorry, but y'all's friends suck. Your mom and I, who blamed you as well. Gosh, I'm glad I have 2 friends and low contact with crazy people. OP replies, Stephanie is genuinely a great friend and great person. She once dropped everything and drove 300 miles because I had just been in a relatively minor car accident in a city I lived in alone as a young adult. She once gifted me $1,500, no questions asked, and insisted I never even think about paying it back when I needed to get out of a really bad cohabitating situation while broke. When we were teenagers and the cool boy she had a massive crush on made fun of me for something I was extremely sensitive about, instead of keeping quiet, she blew her top, stuck up for me, and told him off. Then led me away to comfort me away from him. She is loyal and a kind, and she is loyal and kind and has incredible character. This post is such a tiny, tiny snapshot of who she is as a person. When I raised my concern, Stephanie was emotional, very pregnant, and somewhat sleep deprived. Her pregnancy was rough on her body and on top of hormones. I think she was just genuinely confused by what I was trying to tell her. I really hope so. I still be hurt, but I guess that's your relationship. In the end, only the kid was hurt. We're moving on to the next update, baby. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. All right, we got the newest and probably final update on baby Carrie. For those of you who have contacted me asking for an update, I wanted to circle back and close the book on baby Karen/Carrie chapter. As of last month, Carrie is now legally Caroline, and she has been issued a new birth certificate with her new legal name. The daycare bullying issues had already died down since Stephanie and her husband switched to calling her Carrie, but this legal change now means that the Karen issue won't crop up again when she starts school. There were also some other minor incidents that pushed Stephanie and her husband to make the decision around a legal name change. They were getting to the point where almost any time they were having to provide Karen's legal name to get a service, they were getting an immediate reaction, even from adults. It was usually just a meaningful look, but barbed comments were not unusual. Love the way OP writes, barbed comments. Like, what would make you type that out of all words? The final straw was when they were at the airport getting ready to fly to visit Stephanie and Stephanie's in-laws with Carrie. The TSA agent at security made a snarky comment, and then later when they needed to ask the gate agent about their seats, the gate agent rudely laughed at seeing Carrie's ticket, then showed the gate agent standing next to her, who just shook her head and said, "Poor kid," to her coworker while fully ignoring Stephanie and her husband. And they had this interaction in front of Carrie. Ooh. Something about that day in the airport was a turning point for Stephanie and her husband, and they started the name change process as soon as they got home. It was much easier than they were expecting, and a total grand cost of $30. Carrie is a joyful, sociable little girl, and while it's impossible to know right now if these negative experiences caused any lasting damage, and I sincerely hope they did not, I'm happy to see that she continues to be a very outgoing, confident child. The conversation with Stephanie I mentioned in my October update was awkward and brief, but we've actually gotten back into it a few times since. Stephanie has apologized profusely for her initial reaction when we first talked. I've apologized for approaching things so poorly and not telling her right away about what our friends were saying behind her back. And in those conversations, we've mainly ended up focusing on the resulting spiraling of my mom and aunts and what a mess that turned into. Together, we've started to unpack some of the intergenerational shit around our family issues. That's good. To provide some of that context, our maternal grandparents were a nightmare. Our grandfather was an authoritarian, revivalist preacher who was physically abusive and referred to himself as the spiritual leader and ultimate authority of the family. Good Lord. Our grandmother was a manipulative narcissist who psychologically tormented my mom and aunt for their entire childhoods. As a result, my mom and aunt trauma bonded considerably during their childhood and grew into extremely anxious and reactive adults. Any whiff of conflict sends them into panic mode, and in our family, we have these well-worn grooves of behavioral habits with my mom and aunt overreacting to anything that feels like discord and scrambling to clumsily smooth things over. As a result, Stephanie and I have both been working hard to build better boundaries with our mom's generation and have agreed to be really cautious about what information we give them, especially anything that's highly emotional. I've been in therapy for a couple of years now, and Stephanie has also started going to therapy last year. We've been talking about the ways that my grandparents traumatizing our moms caused intergenerational issues that impacted us. And Stephanie is determined that the cycle ends with her and that these issues will not go on to touch Carrie. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words, both here on my profile post and on the best of update reposts, which I've also been reading. I've gotten some incredibly thoughtful and kind messages, which have meant a lot to me, even if I haven't had the chance to respond to them. For those who may still be critical of Stephanie, I again want to emphasize how out of character her initial reaction was and how much physical, hormonal, and emotional upheaval she was in the time. These posts are a teeny tiny window into just one aspect of the dynamic, funny, kind, caring, full human being that my cousin and best friend is. Stephanie has been my most loyal and trusted friend for pretty much my entire life, and she has fully earned some grace for reacting less than perfectly to my extremely clumsy approach when she was sleep deprived, hormonally wrecked, and brain fogged. Stephanie has read these posts now as well, along with most of your comments, and after I explained to her what Reddit is, they were helpful to both of us in our talks about our weird family dynamic. I can't imagine I'll have any more updates down the line, but thanks for the following along the last few years. Edit to add one final reminder as this is being posted in the update sub. Please don't tag or send harassing messages or comments to anyone who gave me a "you're the asshole" judgment 3 years ago. People gave me an honest judgment based on the information available at the time, and I was specifically soliciting judgments rather than advice. Hindsight is always 2020, and I'm appreciative of people giving me the perspective I was asking for 3 years ago, regardless of how things turned out, right? And this post at this point in time is 3 going on 4 years old. So again, this is the very beginning of Karen turning into a meme, turning it into a moniker for people who are just racist, uptight, entitled losers, right? And before we hit the comment section, 666, we're going to go over to Urban Dictionary because that's what Stephanie should have did back in the day. Back in the day. We're going to hit this for the one time. And Karen is a middle-aged woman, typically blonde, makes solutions to others' problems and inconvenience to her, although she isn't even remotely affected. Karen sues the local city council after they installed a new stop sign that hides the sun from her window for 2 minutes a day. The sign was installed after a schoolboy on his bike was hit by a speeding driver and died. Karen refuses to wear a mask for her 5-minute power trip. Oh, shit, I misread that all the way. Her power trip. Karen refuses to wear a mask for her 5-minute trip to the supermarket during a pandemic. She harasses the workers, asks to see the manager, and threatens to sue. Karen complains that her favorite parking spot was replaced by a ramp for wheelchairs. She parks her car in the old spot anyway and shoots a vlog about it. This is June 1st, 2020. This is probably the earliest definition period. Oh, good Lord. Karen is a pejorative term used in the United States and other English-speaking countries for a woman perceived as entitled or demanding beyond the scope of what is appropriate or necessary. A common stereotype is that of a white woman who uses her privilege to demand her own way at the expense of others. These two definitions right here from June 1st and August 17th, 2020. Spot on. Sliding down to the top comment, which I don't even know if that is the top comment technically. Probably it was originally, but not anymore. Oh, no, it's not. It's set to a Q&A default. Let me see. Here's the top comment because this is on her page. It's so interesting how white culture has taken what was an inside joke among people of color, particularly black people, a coping mechanism, something we use to identify a very particular and very dangerous behavioral tactic used by white women to be racist without consequences. White culture took that and ran with it. When you first posted Am I the Asshole, which is primarily a white US community, I hadn't heard of the term, so judged you harshly. Oh, okay, I see. I misread that. In the years since, it became impossible for your cousin to keep Karen as her daughter's legal name. The racist behavior now universally associated with Karen hasn't been addressed. There's been no mass reflection on racist Karen behavior and a meaningful change. Just the name Karen demonized. It's amazing that you and your cousin are taking the time to address how your mother's behavior has affected you both and make a change. I hope your parents will be able to join you in that journey. And what a relief that Carrie now has a name changed and can develop without being immediately assumed a racist. That would have been awful for her. There's not much to add there. There's not much to add there. To be honest, there's people being like, oh, wait, how can you bring race into this? And they're either being ripped apart by Excel underscore pager underscore 420, or they're just not understanding or not caring, which seems like they're white. All right. People will definitely be like, hey, I'm not white. I guarantee you're wrong and a racist for saying that I'm white. How is that racist? All right. These people. There's always going to be stupid people in the comment section for these posts. And this is annoying. But you think about it. Karen, woke, black fatigue, terms and words stolen that we have used to identify the messed up things that white people do to us and to themselves. And in reality, nothing changes. Nothing changes. Here, it seems like OP and her cousin slash best friend, they're going to therapy. They're trying to be better people. They're not trying to be like their parents. They're trying to be so much better than them. They see the flaws, they see the issues, and they're like, ooh, I can't give that to my children. Ooh, I can't pass that along. Ooh, I can't maneuver through life where I may be broken. I may have been raised incorrectly. I may have habits and thoughts that are just simply wrong, and I need to work on that. Right? Other people just aren't. People think that they're always right. People think that their parents did such a great job raising them, and they're fucking wrong. Honestly, they're wrong. I hear it over and over and over again. Right? My parents did an amazing job. I wouldn't change anything. Right? I hope I can be as good as them. And I look at these people. I'm like, you are a fucking mess. But of course, I don't say that to them because I work with them. But right, these people are still bending over backwards, taking an ass from a guy whose last name starts with a T and ends with a P, who was on a certain island. On an island. Man, exhausted divinity comments. Why do you apologize for your approach again and again? I mean, because shit. I don't know. I would have went harder. I wouldn't have let my sleep deprived ass cousin dip out like that. Nope. Sit your ass down. We gotta talk. You're about to fuck up. We can sit down. It's about your baby. It's about the baby. This is important. Sit the fuck down. Right. You did nothing wrong. You keep trying to meet her halfway all the time. Just stop. Stephanie botched it. So did your mom and aunt. The end of story. Own this power that you were 100% right and they were 100% wrong. Poor kid to her coworker while fully ignoring Stephanie and her husband. What a beautiful karmic slap. Sure, Stephanie must have wished she saw your screen for 2 seconds that day, huh? Cougar Status 31. Cougar Status 31. Am I a cougar? You turn 31, you're a cougar? Cougar Status 31 replies, I especially enjoy reading all the comments calling OP an asshole. It's just a meme. Ha! A meme that cultivated a generation. OP is an angel and protector of all things innocent, and her friend really fucked up in not listening to her when she should have. Now they had to legally change baby Karen's name because grown adults were making fun of it. Stephanie fucked around and eventually found out. Hopefully her daughter will never remember the time where her mom blatantly disregarded good advice and put her in a situation for bullying. Massive, consistent situation. Pregnancy hormones or not, Stephanie was the asshole to her friend and her baby girl. Yeah. And Noise Vegetable 7028 comments. I was looking for this comment. Thank you. I read the original posts and updates, kind of going crazy. Like, why are all these people gaslighting this woman? Well, what was that first comment saying? Mostly white. But you really hit the nail on the head. OP was right and her cousin was wrong from day one. As soon as I saw the comments, it's just a meme. It instantly shed light on who was commenting and judging wrongly in this situation, right? Then here's the thing. Sometimes I pick out stories where I don't like the comment section and how it's rolling because they heavily disagree with what I got going on. But sometimes it's a good thing that they disagree, right? Because maybe I'm not thinking straight. Maybe I'm being too brash. Maybe I'm wilding out. Maybe I need to adjust my thinking and think from a different perception, from a different place, right? I need to angle it this way instead of looking at it like this. And some of these comments sometimes helps move me to a different point, right? And sometimes I'm just thinking, hey, it's not enough. It is most certainly not enough, right? And like some of the stories I didn't pick this time around, comment section pissed me off. Wholeheartedly pissed me off. I was like, delete, X, closed it out. I was not interested. Because how are y'all coming to conclusions calling people assholes and saying that this person sucks, this person isn't doing it right? And your opinion is just garbage. Sometimes you get the wrong people dropping comments. And they should not be commenting. From Scout 336, I would like to make one comment about you. You're an incredibly refreshing person. I'm honestly stunned by the empathetic, understanding, and caring approach that you have towards the personalities and idiosyncrasies of your friends and loved ones. For examples, understanding that your aunt and mother have sort of reactive personalities and not taking what they critically say in the moment too much to heart. Being kind to your dear cousin by simply falling on your sword, or so to speak, when she was upset with your attempt to help her understand her current connotations to a name, and your ability to reflect on your own words and behaviors from the perspective of others and make adaptations accordingly, all speak to your incredible, perceptive, and kind nature. I have no doubt you are an awesome friend, coworker, relative, and so on. Brava to you. I'm so pleased to know that you're out there. P.S. Before you go there, I know you are human. You're just an exceptionally stunning one. Hope he replies, wow, this comment genuinely moved me. Thank you for saying such nice things. Yep. I had to read Scott's comment because OP replied to it. OP replies only a couple times for this post, this being the last post, but this being such a huge story back in the day and more so recently. We got a deleted user saying, so Stephanie can only dish out. What a great friendship you have, LMAO. I'm sorry, but y'all's friends suck. Your mom and aunt, who I blamed you as well. Your mom and aunt, who I blamed you as well. What? Gosh, I'm glad I have two friends and low contact with crazy people. I feel like I've read this before. Stephanie is genuinely a great friend and good person. She once dropped everything and drove 300 miles because I had been in a relatively... Why do I feel like I've read this already? What the hell is this? Oh, I have read this. This is wrong. No wonder why I'm looking at this like, what the fuck? Oh. OP doesn't have any comments. What the fuck? What the hell? OP doesn't have any comments on this last one. Oh, sorry about that. Ugh. Oh. I mean, I guess that kind of sucks for us. All we got is the comment section that's kind of boring. Let's read a long ass comment and keep it pushing, and we'll call it the end for this. By Anna Fee the Great. I have a lot to say regarding this update and all the previous posts. Firstly, I have no clue how anyone in the original post could have called you the asshole. You were being a good friend and explaining the negative connotation at the time. Think about it. Hundreds of years later, and we don't know girl's name Jezebel. I gotta let that hang in the air. Yet Stephanie not only said you were making fun of her, but refused not only to not listen to you, OP, nor even try to understand, but then doubled down and refused to even look into it, and then sent the flying monkeys after you. If your mom and aunt are like you said, they... Oh, it's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day. I took a break in between reading this very last update to go get my truck taken a look at, and that bitch exploded. So, yeah, fun times. If your mom and aunt are like you said they are, then she knew what telling them would do. There just needs to be a singular comma there. I would have been fine. Yes, I can forgive her for being hormonal and pregnant and probably not thinking clearly, but it took over 4 years for you to get an apology. She should have apologized at least for telling your parents and blowing the situation up within a year of the initial incidents. We're kind of lacking information on that, though. I don't know if we can say that. Then not even when little Carrie is getting bullied in daycare do they think to change her name. They were told the kids viewed it as a cuss word, like asshole or fuckface, and still they didn't change her name. The worst part, however, is that they didn't even consider legally changing her name until they were made fun of and their parenting and decision skills were mocked and made fun of. Yes, it sucks. A 4-year-old was there for what those TSA agents said, but seriously, she's 4 and highly unlikely she understood her name was being picked on. But your cousin and husband knew, and this time it wasn't their poor daughter being mocked, but them. And now they see it as a problem, and now they want to apologize to you. Oh, I like this perspective. OP, you're taking way, way too much blame for your cousin's reaction. You were a real one and did her other... Oh, and you were a real one and did what her other so-called friends didn't. Although judging her reaction, I bet they had a reason for not telling her. Sometimes something tells me they knew, but she reacted the way that she did. I lost my ability to read during reading this comment. I'm so sorry, you guys, but this right here, yeah. And see, that's the negative aspects of being raised by her mom, right? We can kind of garner just the information from what OP gave us for the type of person Stephanie is, right? I like this flip on the perspective because it's like, fuck what her mom and aunt are talking about, right? Get back about my face. Back about my face. Get off my phone with that bullshit. Stop texting me bullshit, right? Stop texting me bullshit. You're old. Go sit down. I like this flip. Yeah, because here I am. I'm coming with the real information. I'm coming with the knowledge that you need to hear, and you're not trying to hear me out. You're on bullshit mode. That would piss me off. I wouldn't want to talk to you. Right? If you shut me down, you shut me out. Right? And then you want to come try to gain some information from me? Face. I'm palming your face. Face. I'm palming your face. No. No. I get incredibly pissed at things like that. Stop trying to take the easy way out. Stop trying to be lazy. Right? I don't want to hear that. Okay. Don't talk to me anymore then. I'm trying to tell you something for a reason. I'm your friend. I've known you for years. I'm your family member. We share blood. If that matters more to you than anything, family over everything, right? Then I am blood. You should be fucking listening to me. I'm your best friend, apparently. You should be listening to me. I know. I know. Ooh, yeah. People don't like being judged themselves. Ooh, I kind of like this. We're going to end it off on that. We're going to leave you with your thoughts, with your thinking, right? Especially if you're a parent. You can think about this. What's more important, the way you're being judged or the way your kids are being treated? Thank you for coming, watching, sticking around for however long that you've been here, especially here. If you're here at the very end, I appreciate you dearly. I want you to have a beautiful day, night, week, month, and year. I have been Mr. Always on 10, and you have been listening to the Intelligent Idiots podcast. I would like to say, donate me some money. My truck blew up.